Welcome to otechtalks.com. This is our podcast which covers on sandbox to invite different speakers on different domain specialists. So today we have with us our guest Ilke Demir. I will call her Dr. Ilke Demir. She's a PhD and she's a scientist. And as I'm also a student of AI nowadays, I think I'm completing first year. So I'm lovely and glad that to have Ike on board with me and to welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for the nice introduction. I'm happy to be on this show and ready for your questions about AI.
Oh, all right, great. So first, before going into AI, so let's see who is Ike, from where she started, and how she, became and joined or completed the PhD. What inspired her that okay, she needs to complete this?
Right. So I have always, like, even when I was very small, I always been interested in like electronics and computers. And in high school, I was taught by my seniors like how to code. Like even before university, I started code. And nowadays it is something usual, but like back in the day, it was not that usual, especially in my country, to learn coding in high school. It was something like just computer scientists in college that they do. So I was very interested in that. And then of course, I started studying computer science in college in Middle East Technical University, which is the best university in Turkey. I'm not being like modest about it.
Okay.
So then I realized that like while I was taking like more classes in computer vision and image processing and robotics, and especially after doing a internship in a robotics lab, I realized that I am really curious and I want to solve so many problems in the world that I can with computer science, and especially like things that I can visualize, things I can relate, things I can make tangible through robotics, etc. So I realized that this curiosity, this thirst can also only be satisfied if I pursue a PhD. So I many PhD programs abroad, and at that time I looked up like all those advisors and professors in different universities, and my advisor in Purdue, he had really interesting projects, like all the way from projection mapping to robotics to procedural modeling to like everything in the intersection of robotics and graphics and computer vision. So I selected Purdue and pursued my PhD at Purdue. Of course, like I got interested in many different topics, like all the way from 3D printing to robotics and like procedural modeling and proceduralization, which is my thesis. And I also did an internship in Pixar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can see.
I did an internship at Pixar, and that's where I was like, I think that was the most magical time in my life.
Oh, okay.
It is not like work at all. It's like you're in a movie, in an animation,
Right,
and all
right.
day long. And of course, we are also working, but it was very, very magical to be there. And I think that's the first time that I realized that like the future and like all the interesting things and all the like novel things are in the Bay Area. So after I finished my PhD from Purdue, that's also another like fun story, but let's not go into details. I started my postdoc in Facebook, and I worked in different topics there, like deep learning for map generation, for
Right.
satellite image processing, for deep learning for human behavior understanding in VR.
Right.
Like these domains are different, but the approaches and the actual models that we are building are very similar. So we can find different solutions. And 3D reconstruction at scale. Anyway, so after Facebook, I joined a startup, and it was also another journey.
You're right.
yeah. Then we sold the startup to Tesla, which is, I
Okay.
think, it was a good end.
Good end, a really good end.
Yeah. And then I joined Intel,
Right.
to the world's largest volumetric capture studio,
Hmm.
to do all the research that we can do on digital humans, on like 3D deepfakes, on 3D reconstruction, point cloud,
Right.
deep learning, and everything that you can imagine. Like it's like the most state-of-the-art place on earth to be for a researcher like me. So yeah, that's my journey. Sorry it took so much time.
No, 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 it's okay. That was the right way to give a brief on that one. And I think what I understood is, I mean, you've completed your first PhD and then you started a professional life.
Yes, correct.
Oh, all right. So it's mean it was a one way of doing it, completing all the education and then starting it. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right. All right. So how long you been in Intel?
It is more than 1.5 years.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
enjoying it. It's nice. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Now, interesting. And what being a woman inspires you that okay, you completed the PhD. So what was your inspiration that okay, as a girl, that I need to pursue, that I need to complete it? Because that's not a normal routine education. Normally, when you do your graduation, your master, then you try to start working somewhere. So what was your inspiration that keep pushing you that no, I need to first complete my PhD, my doctorate, and then I will go for professional life?
That's a good question. So, um, I think as humans become more cruel and discriminative as we grow up. So when I was a child, like there was no like girl concept,
Right,
no female
right,
concept. Like we were all playing together, we were all exploring together,
right,
experimenting together. So when I was into like electronics, like with my dad, we were like always like, I don't know, like opening a radio and doing some surgery on a radio or on a phone or like something electronic that we can open and like see inside and close, like at that time you don't think like you're like
boy or a girl or anything, right? True,
yeah.
I agree.
Um, in my undergrad, it was a little bit getting more obvious that I think in 110 students in my year, we were just like 13 women,
Right,
um, and like that's not really hopeful. But even in that case, we are not like that ever.
yeah,
But as you progress, like into PhD and into the professional life, you begin to be the only woman in your team, only woman in your group, only woman in your lab. And that is sometimes that is lonely, but sometimes that is pushing. That is like, well,
yeah,
I must do that. I'm the only
true,
one. I need to carry the flag,
yeah, yeah,
um, and sometimes it is like a thin barrier between being aggressive and demanding.
right,
So like you may become a little bit too harsh for your colleagues because no, your colleagues are used to some situation, but for you it's something like that is not acceptable. So you need to push for it, what you want.
right, right.
So
I agree.
I think my inspiration was always like the always pursuing my curiosity, like
Mhm.
where can I find novel approaches, where can I do scientific research, where
Right.
can I experiment, etc.
Mhm.
And like although being a woman is secondary or tertiary to all of these, you always have that identity with you. And if you
Right.
are in that
True.
international, you have like additional identities. So it's always your duty to represent those minority identities you carry in the best way, so that like the world sees that like you deserve to be there, you are like you should be where you are, and more of you should be where you are.
Right.
And yeah, sorry, like I can talk about this
No, no,
topic
no.
for
You're doing good. You're doing great. So feel free to you have a time. So now that's great, by the way, and let's keep pushing someone to complete his her education or his or her education, and that's what I think. I mean, even I started my as a professional life, but then it pushed me that okay, I should start some new program. And then I'm my kids and all that. So when I'm spending time on the weekends to study, so it's challenging sometimes, but that's the fun. I'm feeling it. I'm almost first year, so it gives me new directions that, yeah, which maybe when you start doing your professional life jobs, you sometimes you miss that one, or you leave part that you don't need to study the way you need as a professional education or university. And now it's coming one question to my mind, because there are a lot of machine learning AI courses. If you search today online, Google, it's extensive, courses. And I was also confused, frankly. So should I do a short course, 3 months, 6 months, or should I go for some professional degree? So I pushed myself that, okay, no, I should go with some professional degree, so where I will spend and more focused time, and then I will have a group of students, so where I will study together, learn from each other, and all that. So now my question to you: what do you think, if someone wants to start learning an AI, where should he start? Should he start with these small courses? Should he pursue some degree program? Or what should be his path or her path?
Um, let's modify the question as like, where should he or she start,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, so depends on depends on what is your use case. So if you have a small problem that you would like a deep learning or AI based answer, maybe some of those application specific courses, short courses would be enough. But if you want to make it your job and do research in that, or like build projects, like deployable projects in that domain, you need to know the math behind, you need to know the theory behind. And
Right.
for that, I don't think it is possible with like short courses, etc. Because even if they cover deep learning, they may not cover the actual calculus behind it, or
Right.
they may not relate it to the statistics or actual data science. Like, it is such a big package. Like, when we say deep learning, it's not just one model that you are running, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to like relate it to those like other domains and to know the theory behind it, I think you need to have the formal education. Like, not formal education as like you need the degree for that.
I
And I don't think there's other like really detailed fundamental courses that
I
are doing
agree.
that.
I would agree with you, because I struggled in my first, I think second or second course on calculus, statistics, linear algebra, and then you need to go to Khan Academy, you need to go to here and there, and then start learning it. So then I agree. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
so I want to bring our discussion to the topic, which I thought to get your some opinion, some as a layman, as a student to that, which is common affecting a lot of people, which is deep fake. So there are you see a lot of videos, a lot of nowadays on even social media. So people changing the videos, and then someone else is speaking. So so I will ask in twofold question. One is, if some some person who is not aware about any about deepfake, to you need to explain to give him that, okay, what it is, so that it gives him or her education. And then, is there any way that can be detected, or what are the industry or the researchers are doing against that? So how, so people, so one is a one layman, general public, how they can predict or can find out, and one another way is how the researchers are doing it, like you yourself, as in from a expert's point of view.
Right. So deepfakes are videos or images where the actor or the action of the actor is not real. So imagine me talking here, right? That like that, but that's not me. Maybe someone made a deepfake of me, and you are talking with a deepfake. You don't know. Like, I'm me, just to make sure for the audience. But that's an example. So it may be like just an audio deepfake that the voice is different, or just the lips are different, that is like lip sync techniques, or maybe the face is swapped to another person, or maybe it is the same person, but it is reanimated in a way that it's like saying different things, right, or acting differently. So all of those are different deepfakes. And why it is not just fakes but deepfakes is that there are generative adversarial networks, which is a type of deep learning network, but generative deep learning. Those approaches are being used extensively right now for creating those fakes, which are with deep approaches. So that's why we call them deepfakes. I mean, if you think about like post-production pipelines, Photoshop has been there for so long, and there are so talented artists that can create those like fake videos. But the reason that we call them deepfake is because they are done with AI approach, with deep learning. So what can we do against deepfakes, right? Like, how can you be sure that I am me in this video? So there are several approaches, like there are many approaches, but like the main domains are deep learning based domains. So you blindly train a classifier that classifies each video fake or real without using any intermediate signals. Okay. There is image space exploration, like looking at artifacts, looking at texture, texture artifacts, looking at compression artifacts. So, like when you take images or videos, looking at the histogram and seeing what is wrong. And of course, you can like use these signals and build deep learning approaches for detection. Then there's the biological signals. So biological signals are not looking for the artifacts, but they are looking at what is real for the humans, for the actual real videos. And there are so many different biological signals that we present right now in this video. So for example, when I look at the different places, my gazes are converging on a point, right? But for it may be the case that the gazes are not converging or coplanar. So that's one of the papers that we published, for example, one of the approaches that we built, that based on like consistency of your eyes, your gazes, the geometric 3D vergence points of your eyes, you can actually detect whether something is fake or not. Another one is a very interesting one, my very dear project, which is called Fake Catcher. Fake Catcher, yes.
Okay, very interesting name.
Yeah, thank you. So Fake Catcher looks at your heart rate. So because your heart is pumping blood, your veins are changing in volume and changing in color. And this can be detected on your face as the color change and the motion change. The color change is called photoplethysmography, PPG for short, and the motion change is called ballistocardiography, I guess, which is BCD for short. So we looking at any video, we actually extract those PPG cells, PPG signals from many places on the face, and then we create PPG maps to feed all of these to a deep learning network. And with that, we can actually have 96% accuracy of detecting deepfakes on a state-of-the-art dataset. And in the wild dataset, which is like a dataset of the videos like you see on Twitter or Facebook or like with all those different artifacts and generators. So in that, like in the wild setting, we have 91% accuracy, which is very good, very nice compared to other detection approaches. So yeah, there are different approaches, but like these two are dear to my mind, to my heart.
and this fake catcher, is it becoming like a tool or is just project?
That's a really good question. Thank you. We didn't plan for this, but that's the perfect question. Yeah, so we built Fake Catcher as like a research project, right? Like it was a paper. It's actually published in PAMI, like IEEE Pattern Analysis and Machine Intelligence Journal, which is like the prestigious journal in computer vision. Then we at Intel, we took Fake Catcher and we actually built an optimized pipeline for it using like OpenVINO, Intel deep learning boost libraries like VNNI, like all those shenanigans that Intel libraries are providing for learning, and we built the world's first real-time deepfake detection platform based on fake.
Okay.
So we can do it real time.
In real time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
That's
actually on an Ice Lake server, like on a third generation scalable Intel Xeon processor,
right.
we can do 72 streams on the server,
Okay.
72 concurrent streams of detection right now. So yeah.
That's good. Good, inspiring. Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
I think that's even required, even from industry point of view, because that's becoming common. So everyone, even some bad actors are getting some benefits of making these deep fake, either video, audio, or lip sync. So these type of tools, this can help organizations, even governments, even a lot of departments and individuals, if it's gonna be. That's true. Very good.
And like currently the attention span of humans are really low. So if we used fake catcher in an offline way, like when you upload the video, then wait for the result and get the result, then like we don't navigate the web like that. We actually we saw something, we saw the video, we say, oh wow, let's share, etc. So if I try to do that, like, okay, download the video, upload to the server, and like wait for the result, etc. In an offline fashion, I don't think it would have as impact. But if it's real time, just like imagine like someone is watching this podcast and a detector is running real time saying that, oh, like, no, like this girl is fake, like this is a deep fake, and that is like much more useful in that real time fashion. So that's why we thought that like detection should go real time.
No, it's inspiring because as you explained it, even no one will use offline. That okay, I want to download and then that will happen. It all right. So it's no one needs. Now, and you said you guys are working on the fake detection tool, which is fake checker. So how you are catcher? Sorry, take it. So how you're getting the data sets? I mean, is it quite large data sets available
Right.
with you?
There are several data sets that are released by different teams in academia and industry.
Right.
So one of them is Face Forensics Plus Plus. It is a large data set with it is actually a growing data set. So when we were first looking at it, it had like 4 different generator and the real class, so like 5 classes. Then I think now they have a 6th class, which like they joined with some approach called face shifter. Then there is the CelebDF dataset, which is a huge dataset with like different faces swapped with different celebrities. And this is like a continuation of other like celeb A mask, like the same team is like building data sets for different tasks, like the regular like face detection or face obfuscation, or now they are also doing deepfakes. Then there is a newer data set called deeper forensics, I guess. Instead of like, that's a large data set, but not large in terms of different actors, but they are adding so many post-processing artifacts like Gaussian blurs, crops, some smears or shares, like all those different artifacts that may happen like after deepfake is created. So that's also a nice data set. There is Facebook dataset, deepfake, DFDC dataset, which is a little bit a mix. Like they have audio deepfakes, like video deepfakes, they have background changes, they have all different sort of things. So it's a little bit harder to classify in that dataset, but still it's a good dataset. There's a Google dataset, which is also, we have some like fake catcher models that are trained on it. And of course there is our data set, deepfakes in the wild, which is like from many different videos that are found online with no known source, no known generator or artifacts or compression, or like everything is unknown about those data sets, those videos.
So apart from and apart from deepfake, what are other exciting projects you're working, which are I mean, just for sharing purpose.
Yeah. So one of the projects that I'm very hype on is that so I'm a research lead in like Intel, yes, but apart from Intel, there is this woman in shape modeling research team, which is supported by AWM, Association of Women Mathematicians, and it has been going on for years. So when I started, I was a grad student. I was just a participant there. It is spearheaded by Catherine Leonard from Occidental College. She's an incredible person. By Wish, this year we organized the fourth Wish, and instead of being a participant as a grad student, now I'm a research lead there with my own project. So we are trying to find interpretable patterns, like explainable patterns from 3D shapes and mostly 3D meshes. So when I say interpretable patterns, like pattern recognition has gone a long way, but especially with deep learning, we see those patterns and those components and those segmentation approaches mostly working in a latent space with no explicit like direction of the pattern or pattern parameters, or if I ask like, is it like rotation or spiral pattern, the deep learning approach may not answer that. So what we are trying to find is, can we actually find a way to formulate patterns and pattern parameters in a way that we can embed this interpretable version of the patterns into the deep learning setting, so that we can do a co-segmentation of pattern parameters and the pattern units themselves. So that's a project I'm very hype on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. All right. Now you also worked in a startup. So how was that experience? I mean, which you said it was acquired by Tesla. So working in other organization, which is long run organization or a startup. So was there a difference, or what was your learning out of it?
Yeah. Well, I think if you look technically, the things you do are the same, right? Like the AI, like the AI and deep learning that you are doing, like trying to build models, and it's all like maybe I can say that it is more research. It's more product oriented research than like open research, right? You can still be curious, but you need to align your curiosity in the current need, because it's very fast paced, and you need to like prove your point in a more proof of concept than actually like doing all the experimentation, evaluation, writing the paper, etc. You need to have that first proof ready, right? But still, like I think that is also changing in companies right now, like that are doing real research, like in AI and deep learning, especially, we are never doing like, oh, okay, like let's look at all the possibilities and like select this and like do the proper evaluation. We are always in a rush because our domain is progressing so fast and so not like leaving anyone behind. So I think the pace of a startup and industry is like converging at this point.
Converging, true, absolutely true. This is you're rightly converge the word used, and that's what we're seeing even in my organization where I worked in Oracle. So now the startup mindset started coming in each organization, each pillar. So they no longer old traditional way of looking to things are no longer there. That's true, because the industry is moving too fast. So that's why they need to change their mindset. Absolutely right. So how you cope your personal life with the research? So how you balance it?
Balance what? Does this answer? No, I'm joking. So I work, so it depends on what you are happy to do, right? So Some of my colleagues are not like taking these like additional projects or like, like Wish, for example, like women in shape modeling. That is completely voluntary. Everyone there. Like now I think we are a team, like in my team, we are like 7, 8 people, professors and grad students and like many different researchers. And everyone is doing it voluntarily. There is like the only benefit that we get from there is that we will actually publish the papers and we
Right.
are contributing to the humanity, right?
So
And other than that, there is no other like thing that, but we enjoy doing that.
I absolutely I agree. I want to just co-link that the way you explained it, that you're taking extra projects, which is your personal passion, or spending time compared to other researchers, which they only do their day-to-day jobs. So and
Right.
yeah, and I agree with you. That's the way I also do that one. So where it gives you satisfaction on that one. So
Yeah,
thank
exactly.
yeah. So thank you so much for sparing your time and coming on board with me and sharing your expertise and even the journey for anyone to start even the education or even on the research side. So for just the last concluding maybe question. So what advice, I mean, being a student, what advice you will give me or anyone who is pursuing an AI career or deep learning? So what are the some of the things he should keep in mind, or to drive, which drives him or her to this field?
Right. Um, I would say like don't be afraid to follow your curiosity. Um, if it is something you don't know of, if it is something you haven't done before, if it looks like interesting, but you don't want to like put your feet in the water, like just go for it. Like you won't drown. Just you will just
Okay.
learn to swim. So um, and like the more you learn, the more you know that you don't know anything actually, right?
Okay.
And the way you invent and the way you build novel things is just through experimentation and applying the theory to what is unknown, right?
Agree.
So follow your curiosity and don't be discouraged if you see some other colleagues or some other labs, or someone is like have a faster pace than you, or they know more, or they publish more, or do not compare your curiosity to their curiosity. It is not something that is quantitatively comparable. The only comparison you are doing is actually an emotional space, which
True.
you don't need that. You don't need
True.
that.
True.
So I think that's my advice for new students, because I know how overwhelming it can be for when you start the field. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. What a lovely advice you gave. I'm from true from heart. Thank you so much for joining with me, and hopefully to see your more projects and more research. We'll love to read it and enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks for inviting, and thanks for this very nice conversation. Good
Thank
luck
you.
in your studies.
Thank you.